What's up, everyone? Today we have an awesome show for you guys planned. This is the first stream, by the way, done in the new studio. I rearranged everything, which I'm very, very happy about. And yeah, I think we're gonna have a great show. Have an awesome guest on who we've been. It's been like 3 years in the making, and we finally have made this happen. Now, to be fair, the whole we finally made this happen. It was all me. It was me who was skirting my feet and stuff, and I don't know why. Whether it was timing, being busy, who knows? But we got Hojo here, and we're gonna have a silly goose time. Now, real quick, let me just get everything set up here. Yeah, just how's everyone doing? How is everyone doing tonight? If you didn't see this yet, let me pull this up, everyone. If you didn't see this yet, you should go check this out. So, I started uploading on YouTube again. My very first YouTube video. We had to address some drama. Anna de Armas was definitely in talks to play Mara in a potential live-action adaptation of the indie comic hit Super Plumber Sisters, created by superstar indie creator Tyler Carpenter. However, a contract dispute was what put negotiations on halt, a final casting and production due to one of the stipulations in Anna's contract. So, yeah, if you want to, if you want to like see more of like why that freaking happened, go watch after this live stream. Go watch my YouTube video. So, all right, guys, let's get into this without further ado. See, I think people are still still forgetting. Like, oh man, like, does Tyler still stream? Yes, we do. We're gonna bring it back. So it might take a little bit for people to get in here, but nah, let's do it. We always have it's crazy. We'll do like 100 views by the end of the night. And then we'll do like another 100, 200 by the time I wake up. So, all right, let's bring Hojo in. Hojo, welcome to the show, man. Well, I have to turn you up. All right, let's try again. What's up, Hojo?
What's up, man? What's up?
It's good. We're good. We can hear you now. Did this whole OBS thing, like we were talking about, like people are gonna have to start using OBS because of the whole StreamYard debacle, and I'm not doing a good job figuring it out. I'll figure it out. What's up, dude? How's life treating you?
Not much. Staying cool. Starting to get fall. I guess there's a hurricane coming down in Florida, so I'm way north of that. So sorry.
You can just buckle in, and you don't have to buckle in, do you?
Nah, we had our floods with the last one, dude. So my kid's school was at like two days, and then like a 2-hour delay the next day, so it sucked.
Frick,
so
dude.
Enough of that mess. I don't want none of that.
Yeah, no, that sucks. My brother's down there in Florida, and I've been messaging him every day, you safe, you good, and he's like, another one's about to come. I'm like, you good?
Yeah. I don't think this one's supposed to hit till about 7:00 Wednesday. That's what they're tracking. So.
Hopefully it's not as bad. Where's the real big one going on right now, the huge flooding?
That was North Carolina. That one went up towards my way because I'm above North Carolina, and like I said, we got a lot of rain, a lot of wind. It was bad, but they said it's a Category 5 now, and it's like the 5th largest recorded hurricane ever.
Shit,
that ain't good.
No, it's not. So Hojo,
get out. Yeah.
How long have you been making comics? We connected 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's when I was planning on doing this because I did a lot of research. I didn't just jump in. I got did the army thing and did the whiteboard and broke things down into sections and achievements and what I needed.
Should I do this? Is this a good idea?
Do some financial projections, which I fudged a little bit to my wife. And then just kind of like I said, built it up, built relationships, got in the chats and kind of got my name out there and showed people I do know comics. And I'm not just here to grift off of people, and started to describe my story. So I launched the first book February of 23.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so I probably had the pre-launch open for about 6 months before that, and did months and months of research before that. So
What were the things that you felt like, oh, I have to prepare before I like get in this?
like the pitch, like not just the initial pitch, but like the 5 second pitch that all other creators are like, oh, we don't like to do that, and we tell other people not to do it. But for the normie that coming in, they have to have a quick comparison, in case you're pitching a book to it like a new person, like friends and family or family of friends and all that stuff, and try to be like, well, you read comic books? I'm like, no, I used to. But like, all right, well, check this out, and then you break it down into these little memory kernels that they can,
Like,
connect
yeah.
these dots.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So like, what were some of the achievements that you were like, okay, like I want to, like, I need to achieve this, or I hope to achieve this?
With me, it's different the way I have to weaponize Twitter and Facebook a little, but it's mostly Nigerian scammers and Instagram. Like I'm not an artist, I can draw, but I'm like not an artist by trade, and like that's not what I do with my books. So Instagram, I have a little bit of a following there, but they're mostly Twitter people. And then so I wanted to have like 500 Twitter followers by a certain. It sounds silly, but
No, it's good to have that goal.
It's a mental thing, just to be like, okay, I can catch on, and then like get 100 signups on the sign up list as an initial creator. I feel like that you have to have that to give yourself a little bit of a boost. Be like, all right, it's only 27. And it's been 2 weeks. Like you don't want to be that guy.
And was your first, you were doing, where did you launch your first one? Was it Indiegogo?
I did the first one in Indiegogo, yeah, and okay. I did Kickstarter. Like it was kind of like a taboo thing, as far as like I didn't understand it at first, but they're like, "Oh man, just don't use it." Some people hate it. I was like, "All right," but I secretly did it. Just did a little ninja launch and made like $500, and that was $500 I didn't have, and I was like, "All right, I could take that mailing list and add them to my mailing list and say, hey, you want to jump on board? Here's the link, blah blah blah." And then support me on the next one. A lot of people I've noticed, because I'm live there now, all three, I've noticed at least 10 people who stuck with it every book, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's still like, following. And then there's Global Comics. I just put it up recently on that. So
just you're trying to put it where the people are.
The hustle.
The hustle. We got Dillard Draws here saying, "What up, Hojo?" and a lesser extent, Tyler. Al Jamil.
I can hear him too.
He says, "I'm glad I caught you right after I got off work. By the way, ads are playing." Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, there's a chance that I do have ads running on this live stream, but they shouldn't be very long. So I do apologize. I'm trying to make money, guys. What are your, so like, you've been doing this for like 3 years. I find you to be like one of like the more like well-rounded people on the Twitter scene.
Don't tell anybody. No, I mean, like I treat people like human beings for the most part. With caveat, like if you act like a human being and you treat me like a human being, you will get that in return. But if you try to come at me with this, that, and the other, I will have this, that, and the other right back for you. That's how this works. Like I'm an adult. I'm a man, and I didn't get married until I was like 37. I lived a lot, and I was in the Army, dude. I can take it, but you have to be willing to take it back. And I'll smell weakness. Like there's no challenge here. So,
what'd you say? I don't make something. I make widows.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It just comes to me. Like, I am a writer. But like like I was an only child, so like humor, and I'm 5'7", so humor has to be part of the skill set,
Because you're a short king. Because we're short.
Yes.
We're short kings. Like we have. Like I'm like, I think I'm probably 5'7", but I think I've been telling everyone I've been 5'8" for so long that like I just believe it at this point.
Yeah. I got you. But like I always put my hair up, so really, who's questioning?
I remember like on those online dating apps, like because you had to put your height, and I realized, man, if I'm at 5'7", you're like the pool is lower. So
Yeah.
so I would put myself at like 5'9", but then like I'd only swipe right on girls who were like shorter than me. So like no matter
No,
what.
so yeah, like I was way out of the game before all that came around. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness, dude, because it freaking.
I'd have been swiping my phone into the wall.
I
Like, you bitch.
I remember my like the final like showdown of like the dating app before I was like, I'm done with it. I was like, one night I was like, I'm so sick of this. I hate my life. I grabbed the app and I went, okay, I'm just gonna. They call it the death swipe, where you just like one night just you swipe right on everything and everyone.
Oh.
And so I swiped right probably on like 1,000 people, and then I woke up the next morning. I think I only had like 4 matches out of those 1,000, and like 2 of them were like dwarves. No offense, dwarves. And then one of them was like a girl I knew in high school, but she was like, I was like, no. And then I forget who the other one was. I was like, man, really? This is the pool? This is what I got? This is what I got to work with in a 30-mile radius?
Yeah.
Oh, my stars. So because you're like I find you like this very well-rounded person on the scene. Like, I find that like Twitter is like its own beast when it comes to like the indie comic scene. But like, what are your thoughts on the current state of indie comics? Like, what are you seeing that's like working, not working? What sucks? What's awesome? What are some things that maybe we've lost or gained?
Oh, you're asking me for insight. Ooh. Well, I mean, I think
I might interrupt you during like when you talk, just like
you son of a bitch.
Guys, Hojo thinks that Cool Ranch is like the worst. Like in the chat,
I
if
just
you're watching,
I just don't like them.
Guys, in the chat, if you think Cool Ranch is good, like let it be known. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the state of indie comics?
Well, I think it's a healthy participation, like with a lot of the creators. You know, I think it's forcing a lot of people to take notice. You know, just because there's so many people coming in and there's so many different, and I'm not just saying like the smaller books are my own, or like larger books and like books I wouldn't have expected and that I didn't know would have come out if I didn't know about crowdfunding, like the Soul Reaver, the Legacy of Kain book. It used to be a video game, backed it. I probably would have been pointed that way if I'd have found out news about it, but this new Kelly Jones and Matt Wagner Dracula book. It's like a hardcover. It is. I've been singing that from the rooftops, man. It's excellent. Like Kelly Jones, like everybody loves his Batman. Like this is better. Like I mean, he went full like House of Mystery type, like drawing like demons and stuff like that. It's crazy. But I think that's like Skybound. You know?
Oh yeah, with their GI. Did you get in on that GI Joe?
No, I didn't.
I was one of those like
my wife wouldn't let me.
I was one of those like I've never read GI Joe in my life. I just saw a tweet that said this is the most funded comic ever.
It was like 2 million, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just remember it said like 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
And I just went, I don't know anything about GI Joe. Oh, this is and I just hit impulse. I was like, I checked my bank account. And I was like, sure.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna be great. I mean, I've got a few. They're great.
Fingers crossed, because like maybe I'll be like, man, if I freaking, because I remember one time someone's like, a real comic fan would read like loves Sandman, and when I was like new, I was like, oh, Sandman, okay. So there was like some sale for like the $200 box set of all the volumes, so I bought it, and the first like 2 issues of Sandman, I was like, gosh, this is ass.
This slow burn.
I was like, I hate this. I can't do this anymore. So I now I just have that hardback. I have that set. Just like, ugh, like what a waste of $200.
Yeah, I have the little leather bound.
Oh, geez.
Is that what they are? Yeah, they're pretty tight. That's what really turned me off of like say like X-Men and Justice League and stuff like that. Just finding out about all of that, like 2000 AD. All that different kind of stuff. But definitely just the British people, I guess they had a different way of approach it. Just like with music, they had a different approach to what was already here, and that kind of spoke to me, like the Vertigo line especially. Yeah. for sure.
So what the like what you're seeing with like the crowdfunding is like you're seeing that there's like a lot of bigger players are coming in now. Like it's not just indies, like people like you and I.
Yeah,
It's now we're starting to see more and more companies like come in and see the energy
they're not.
that's here.
They have, if they're smart, they have people that know this already, have known this for a while, and maybe now they're just now listening.
Mm-hmm.
You have to the direct market. It's not what it used to be. I don't want to make you know it's some people say it's dying, some people say it's a niche market. It's always been a niche market. It's always been a niche business. The internet's put a lot of business out of business. It doesn't mean that comics are unpopular.
Yeah, I'd
um
say comics are like even more popular today. It's just the format. It's
the accessibility was the problem.
yes, exactly. It was
Now
the
that problem's been rectified.
yeah, and when a lot of people are like, oh, like comics are dying, I just think it's like one particular format that is
Yes.
struggling, which is the floppy the LCS floppy comic,
Yep.
like because graphic novels are doing great, web comics are doing great, like manga and webtoons and like those webtoon books that are free to read online, they're getting put into graphic novels and then they're like like top 10, 100,000 to like millions of sales a month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's not a pro. It's like you're right. It's the accessibility that was
Mm-hmm.
the problem. Is you kept these floppy comic books in a niche like company. The LCS. I didn't even know I had an LCS my entire life until I finally just was trying to download porn one day, saw a pop up for Batman, clicked on it, and was like, oh, I should go get a comic. Went to a comic book shop, whatever the fuck that was,
Yeah.
and was like, whoa, like I didn't even know this thing existed in like the 20 years of my life. And I tell my friends and they're like, dude, like comics, they talk about comics like, oh, like there's still comics being made.
Yeah.
Like it's like this hit like this relic. And
Mm.
so but now those same friends who said that to me 10 years ago are like, oh yeah, dude, like I just got done reading Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan. And it's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're reading comics. They're just not reading it in the format
Yeah.
that people grew up with.
Mm-hmm. And like me, as far as you talk about the floppies, I even got to the point. This is even before crowdfunding was even a thing. I guess it was like early 2000s and stuff. Like there would be certain titles that I would be collecting, and I'd just be like, you know what? I don't want to get every issue right now. I'm gonna get the trade. The trades have been blowing the roof off from sales and some of this stuff. Like when the Avengers movies came out, everybody was going back and getting the old stuff in the trades, and like people are like, you remember when comics were good? I'm like, yeah, I do. When I have all the trades, because I bought that when Amazon first started selling all those, dude. I was buying them up lickety split. Oh my god.
But people are still buying like comics like there was and like we just don't talk about it. Like a lot, I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it because they're so focused on the local comic book sales or like the floppy sales, which by the way, guys, I sell my own floppies. Doesn't mean that I
Yeah.
don't think that they're
I'm a floppy
more
dude.
a flower.
I'm a floppy man.
But like it doesn't mean that we can't like understand that there are problems with the format. But like when the Vision
Yeah.
TV series came out or the WandaVision, like
Mm.
Marvel Vision, the graphic novel by Tom King, was sold out. Like you couldn't buy it. And they had it, and every time they put it back up on Amazon or Barnes and Noble, it would sell out again. They did a bunch of reprints on that book,
Right.
but no one talked about that because everyone's just so focused on like, oh, comics are dying. It's like, no, like they're buying it. They were buying the graphic novel, so maybe they didn't buy the floppy. And by the way, they did buy, a lot of people did buy that floppy, but then like, yeah, people were buying a shit ton of the graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
We got real quick. We got Ichthus in the house. Andrew Rowland, Cryogenic Gamer, Aragorn Skywalker, Aaron Wolfsbane, Comics. How are you guys doing? We got Mr. X. How are
What's
you
up,
guys doing? Andrew Rowland said it's no get rich quick thing. You're probably gonna lose money before you start making money.
Oh, the hell you say?
How'd that go with the wife? You're like, so honey, we're gonna
Just
lose money.
don't look at it as losing money. Just look at it as an investment that's going to pay off.
It's gonna happen, I promise. Have you but yeah, like so besides like having like the bigger players come in, like what are some other things that you're seeing in the indie comic scene? Like maybe not just outside of crowdfunding, but like maybe even like the changes that you're seeing and like how we were interacting with each other like now compared to like 3 years ago.
Well, I do feel like it's a bad economy, and when you put money, I stand and I look at a lot of things from we're in what 2024. People had a lot of money during COVID, man. Like, and this is before I got here, so these are legends to me, like the Wild West, when like there's a serious dough going around, right?
Uh huh.
People not working, people fucking around on the internet because they don't, excuse my language, because they don't have jobs to go to because for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
Um, then suddenly you cut the people. Some people go back to reality. A lot of people can't handle the internet. Some people aren't made for the internet. Mm.
Mm.
Uh, some people got thin skin. Some people take things too far. Some people do childish things as grown men, and this isn't just comics. This is life. But when you take all these things that happened and you compound these things, and then suddenly money gets turned off because people don't have jobs, and people get tired of reading and watching whatever. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just telling you boots on the ground from what I see, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and how we talk to each other because the internet. And now I think people just want to be right more than
They want to be right
want to
so
be
bad.
more than want to be heard. Um, and I myself was guilty. I'm guilty of that. Like I'm no saint, especially when it comes to my choice of Doritos. I mean, I'm not wrong. You're all wrong. But
Guys, Cool Ranch, is he right or is
I
he
don't have
wrong?
mine because I ate them all. I'm not just eating one chip every 5 seconds. I ate the whole bag. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like some people forget. Yeah, these are comics, and there's a part of this that when you add the social media fabric and the necessity for YouTube and mass marketing, entertainment is part of it. Sometimes people take entertainment the wrong way, and then some people try to be vindictive and try to get people canceled off of platforms. And man, I'm a I'm like a big freedom of expression guy. Like the fund my comic thing. Like that's why I believed in that because of what he went through, and like he saw Shadowban on Indiegogo. No matter whether the founder Luke Stone agrees about what that creator does in their outside creative spaces, who they associate with, he believes in the creative freedom for them to do what they want to do. And so when he sees people get a shadow ban, and these are people like not even big names, and not even, it doesn't matter who it is for whatever reason. Um, just censorship is wrong. It's wrong in America because these are American based companies and ideologies. Now, um, where was I going? Oh yeah. And I believe in the artistic expression. I believe in it to my bones. Like music, and when it comes to creative stuff like this. And so um, when you start doing that and start messing with people's money and going after supporters of said creator and going back and forth and doing all that, it turns a lot of people off, man. And I see people are just like, you know what, F it, I'm done with it. I'm done with all of it. I'm done.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. Well,
And then they have that extra excuse since money's tight. Like, well, then money's tight, then I'm done. I'm out.
yeah.
How do you get that customer back by, like, I'm not saying one person gives us all a bad name, but 10 people give us a bad name. No. And then I'm not even going to touch the whole not fulfilling your campaigns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I will say,
Like,
like, I was there during like the pre-COVID and then the COVID, and the people
yeah,
who like were killing it right then. I think it was like if you were ready for it,
yeah,
like you thrived, and if you weren't ready for it, but you got that success, you really fumbled the bag. But by you fumbling the bag, you also like ruined a lot of goodwill.
yeah. Yeah.
in the community. With what's going on right now, though, today, we got Chad Townsend in the house, by the way, saying I made a
Yeah, I like
profit on
that.
my first campaign. It can be done. Um, like, and Aljamil says even DC and Marvel are doing manga style for some things along with digital. They are starting to adapt. Yeah, slowly. Yeah, for sure, slowly. I think well, this brings us to this, like, the I think a big problem, and we've known about it, we've seen it, but like I think we're seeing it even more, like, again, like round 3 or something of, like, the one thing that I hate about the indie comic scene is the fact that, that crowdfunding is such a foundational part of the indie comic scene. I actually, like, hate that aspect.
I don't think it's a sustainable business model for
No, yeah.
anybody at my level.
Not
If
only do
it,
I, yeah, but not only do I think it's, like, not sustainable, but it forces the creators to have to marry up to platforms that they're not in control of. And
hmm
when it's like, oh yeah, like, I'm on Indiegogo because all the hot stuff's on Indiegogo, and then the moment Indiegogo's like, well, I don't like you, well, okay, you're screwed. So now, but crowdfunding's still important. So now you've got to move over to Kickstarter and you do your thing, and then Kickstarter's like, yeah, we're done with you. And then, luckily you have, something like Fund My Comic,
yeah,
and but even then, like, as much as, as great as, Luke Stone is and that great as that platform,
right. It
he
could all
it's
go away if
it
Stripe says I don't like you
and
anymore.
dude, let me tell you something. I run a business. I did 4 transactions one day for my business on Stripe. That came up to like $50,000, and Stripe went, dude, what the heck is this? And they froze my account, and they just have $50,000 just chilling.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't get in
yeah.
contact with them, and so it's like, yeah, Stripe could
Yep.
just be like, "F you, Luke," or, Luke's human. Like, Luke's human. It's his platform. One day maybe he's just like, "F it, I don't like, I don't
I
want
don't
this
want to
per,
do this anymore.
I don't
This
want
is
to do
a
this
big headache.
anymore."
It's
Yeah,
a
or
big
maybe he
headache.
doesn't like the person. I don't know, but like,
Yeah,
we're just so married to these platforms in the
yeah.
indie space, and they can
The
always be taken
ultimate,
away from us.
the ultimate goal for a creator would be to have your own platform, sell it there. But then you run into whole things like if like you hook it up to Shopify, then you got international orders and taxes, and a wife that wants to pull her hair out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got to hire people to. You got to do that. If you're going to do that, you got to do it right.
I have a Shopify. I just had to do my taxes, but
Yeah.
I'm not doing like crazy orders. I maybe do like 10 orders a month.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, even then, like,
You wouldn't
um,
have to know how to calculate the state taxes and that whatever. Like you're just like, but just that should be the ultimate goal because you're working for yourself. That is independence. That is creativity. Just in,
yeah.
in harmony, I would think.
But then but then it goes down to like the backers and the readers and the audience, and
hmm
what they're saying is they're like, I don't want my credit card in 20 different places. I like Kickstarter. But
Saw a lot of that today too.
exactly. And it's like, you can't combat the audience. So, but
hmm
at the same time,
You
it's like,
can't.
yeah, because they'll win. But at the same time, it's like, oh, like, what am I supposed to, like? How are you supposed to thrive, when you have to be married to a platform at any moment? Some schmo could be like, I don't like you. Like, I couldn't do a Kickstarter for 4 months. It really set back my whole schedule because I was dealing with one bad egg on
hmm
Kickstarter. I was going back and forth with this employee. I was like, they're like, yeah, you're just not in good standing with the platform. I'm like, how is that possible? I've met all your criteria, and
Yeah.
it just went back and forth, and I even, like, I would screenshot the terms of service. I'd be like, I'd be like this, and they go, well, they would be like, they try to be like, oh, you have multiple accounts. I'm like, okay, if I have multiple accounts, I've still fulfilled all of them. And I went on a different account, messaged them and said, hey, I'm having a problem. And some guy went, oh, you're absolutely right. And like, I could crowdfund the next day. But like, I still had to deal with one bad apple for 3 months.
hmm
So, yeah, it's hard. Yeah. We have Aaron at Wolfsbane saying platform loyalty truly is a double-edged sword.
I know, isn't it?
And yeah, I'm agree with you. I would rather just like have people come to my Shopify. I got to keep more of the money.
Yeah.
But then, like, I've managed a Shopify that's done millions of dollars. You know what you have to do to have a Shopify that does millions of dollars? Either have a
It
massive
adds.
ads. You either have to have a massive platform on your own, or you have like, I think what we got down to was like, we would, whatever ad money we put in, we would make 8 to 10%. So if we put in $10,000 in ads, we would maybe get like $80 to $100,000.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, you have to have you have to have $8 to $10,000
I
to
ain't
do
got
the
that.
ad.
For
I don't have
ads.
that,
No.
and then you have to have the skill to do the ads properly. Because I remember at that book publisher I worked at, I remember my friend Clint, who I work with now, I hired him to be my ads guy at our business, and he runs it with me. He was like, "Hey, you should learn ads, Tyler. Here's $500. Like, you should be able to make like at least $1,200 to $2,000." And after 2 weeks, he goes, "So where's the money?" I went, "How'd you do?" I went, "Oh, I burnt it. You might as well have just like handed me a match and set it on fire, because I made 0 sales." And he's like, "You did it all wrong." I went, "Okay, well, give me another 500." And then like 2 weeks later, he goes, "How'd you do?" I went, "Oh, same thing. Like, I burnt it to the ground." So I'm like, I don't have, but yeah, like, that's a skill that you have to. You have to have the money and the skill, which means you need time.
And I saw a Twitter ad by an independent comic creator, and I was shocked at how little traffic it got just by views. Like, I feel like it would get more views than that. So I questioned the reach of the ad, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all about targeting. I mean, I did an ad for one of my it was either I think it was Super Plumber Sisters, and I had it running for 3 weeks, and I realized like 2 weeks in, I didn't target the United States. I was just targeting like Asia and India. And so I was like, "Oh, no wonder I'm not getting any backers, or it's not doing anything, because everyone who sees this is from India." So I switched it out like last week, and then I made like I think $300, $400 from that ad after. But I think I put like, I forget how much money I put in, like $100. But I did a poor job the first 2 weeks.
Did to make up for that.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's like, we as creators are so married to these platforms. Like, right now, so like, guys, go check out the link in the description, link in the chat. So like, Hojo here, his book is The Mythicals. You can find it on Kickstarter and Fund My Comic.
Right.
What's been your experience, by the way, running like 2 campaigns at the same time?
Well, the Mythicals, like the way I do it now, I've kind of fine tuned it after issue 2. Like the first 30 days are an exclusive with Fund My Comic, and then you get like a print giveaway with X amount of backers, and then it moves into storefront mode, which is where I'll remove some items, and then we open up Kickstarter, because that's like it's like a whole different party.
Yeah.
Like it's completely different, because they don't even know Fund My Comic exists. Like the majority of the people that back there, like they're unaware of it. So
like, Kickstarter is its own ecosystem.
Yes.
Like, I've always been curious, like because like my email list is mostly built out of like Kickstarter backers.
Right.
And so there's a part of me that's like, what if I launched a book on my site? Would any of these people show up?
Exactly.
And I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try one of these days. Aljamil brings up a good point. He says, "What if Luke gets a controversial campaign that is a threat to other parts of his business, like payment processors? That's a tough decision."
It is, and he's got lawyers to deal with that.
But he would still, but like he would, even then, like, you'd probably lose. Like we've seen, like, not even Kickstarter can like say, "Hey, Stripe, like, cut us some slack," because Stripe will be like, just nah, like.
We are the money.
Yeah, exactly. So, Critical Reads.
You don't get the money.
Critical Reads, just created my own website, only selling digital for now. See, that's good.
Yep.
That's good.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
No overhead and costs, stuff like that.
But even then, like, Shopify and Stripe are partners. So like, even then, you could somehow get screwed. Run
afoul of some miscreants that just wants to be a rabble rouser. So, there's always somebody out to get somebody. We do, unfortunately, live in a society where like it's so easy, and I think just, an endorphin rush for some people to tear people down. Like the era of the troll is now
to ruin people's lives.
Yeah.
So real quick, while we have this on the jumbotron, and guys, like I said, link in the chat for Fund My Comic or Kickstarter, whichever one that you want. Tell us about Mythicals. Like, what's the story about, and why should people check it out?
So the Mythicals, it's a horror action mystery that puts Nancy Moon, it's like this little witch type lady, with Level M, which is a covert task force comprised of creatures from myth and legend. So it's kind of like a X Files meets Buffy type deal, and so kind of like the Ghostbusters or something, like a little alarm would go off, and so they go to fight whatever the threat is. So it's 13 issues. Each issue after this, we get like a little self-contained issue, kind of like this one's like the monster of the week.
No, nice.
So like we get like an immortal serial killer, and we find out what's going there. And the first two issues was like, she finds out she's got these powers, this world exists. Issue two, she goes to work at this place, and there's a talking cat, and who cannot stand any of these people that he worked with, and so they have to bring the werewolf back out of retirement to deal with all this stuff. And now we got like Daniel here, he's like their Agent Scully type deal. He does their autopsies, and he's their magician. And then we got the vampire. Him and Julian him and the werewolf have their reunion in this one.
So I've always thought, like, what's up, Pixel Trader? I've always thought like that comics is like such a good medium for like the monster of the week type of thing, or like I would love to crack this. It's one of those things where like Hojo, like I get scared to work with people because sometimes I just never know if I'm gonna get burned by them, and so right now I just work with artists, but like I saw, like I've always wanted to and one day I'll have time to actually do this, to like crime shows are huge, like Criminal
Mm-hmm.
Minds, where it's just like the bad guy of the week.
Yeah, that's what this is. This issue is like a police procedural.
Okay, yes, okay, yeah, police procedurals, and I'm like,
Yeah,
how come there aren't like more comics where it's like the procedural of the
yeah.
like the month or something? Um,
Because that's Nancy's thing. That's what she went to school with. She studied criminal justice and like computers, and that's bringing her in is them kind of like bringing the update and everything into the modern age. Because the government, believe it or not, when it comes to all this, they are very, very slow to modernize.
hey,
Like
it's
they're probably running Windows 95 when she gets there.
how hard is it for you to run like a monster of the week type story in 28 pages?
Mm. Well, with this, it's gonna feel familiar. Like if you're new, like you're gonna get an introduction to all these people that you don't know, but all the other readers that have read the first two issues know immediately what's going on. And they're like, oh, now we get into digging into some cases. So there's all the exposition is gone, but if you're new, you'll be able to find out like, all right, this is Nancy. She's learning these powers. We got a dead body, so find out how we got there, and then so we backtrack during this issue. And of
Okay.
course, we weave in, bring in Carl back into the fold, and coming back, and the whole team under one roof by the end of the issue, and then shit, it's really gonna get nuts after this.
What made you want to do this as a 13 issue series?
That's a nice supernatural number,
There we
right?
go. So like, what happens when you're done? 13 issues. Like, do you retire out of comics? You said you you made your mark. You did your
I
thing.
would
Oh, that's
I would say
cool.
that would be a slight mark. That'd be an accomplishment. I wouldn't say a mark. But I mean, I have other stuff. Like Dillard popped in there. He's drawing a story that I wrote for a friend of mine.
Oh, nice.
Um,
13 issues
that's
though.
like,
That's not a lot of creators can say that they've gone past like even like issue 2 of their
I know,
comic. So like
I know.
to get to 13 issues, I'll say this one time. This was like very early on in Draw and Talk. I had a creator come on the show, and he was like, "My series is like X-Men meets whatever, and it's gonna be 100 issues." And I was like, "Damn, a
No,
hundred
dude.
issues!" I'm like, "That's crazy." And he goes, "Yeah, but like, don't worry, because it's like really good. Like, what I made is really good." I went, "Okay." And I was like, "Nice," hyping him up. And at the end of the stream, he was like, "Hey, will you do a review?" And I used to do reviews on this channel,
Right,
so I was like, "Yeah,
right,
I'll totally do a review." And I was like, "But just know, like, I have a rule with the reviews that like I don't hold back." And he goes,
right.
"No,
You
like,
shouldn't.
yeah."
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Yeah, no problem. Like give it your all." And I ripped that book. I hated it.
Mm.
and he never made another comic after that.
Oh,
And there's a
Tyler.
part of me that's like, and I stopped doing reviews after that because I was like, man, did I just like,
Yeah, I hear you. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do
yeah, I
reviews.
was like, did I
Yeah.
great? Did I just like, I had constructive feedback, but I also was like, this isn't good, and I just I felt awful. But yeah, 13, like, so he never made it. He never made it past his one issue, and he had a goal of 100.
Almost made it.
Almost made it. Are you gonna do this? This is the stuff that I geek out about. Is this? Are you gonna do like one trade, two trade, just one massive trade?
Yeah, see, I'm trying to figure out where to do the trade. Like after 3 issues, no, maybe after 4, but boy, I mean 4, 5, and 6. These issues just like you're boom, boom, boom. Like issue 5 is just like action packed, like overseas Indiana Jones ass kicking, like clearing rooms and jumping out into roofs and stuff like that. Like, but like so like I don't know, but I definitely it would be cool to do 2 separate ones. But because I mean I say 13 issues, but like when I got to it and started writing the 13th one, I'm like, oh no, dude, this is like Battle of the Five Armies, like Return of the
You're
King.
like, we're going more.
This is gonna be a double sized. Like
Oh, there you
we would
go.
have to go guns ablazing and just like collect that one in its own like nice little finale edition or something.
See, like that shit. Like I have this. I don't know why. Just like I love the feeling of a trade. Like I
Yeah,
want to see
yeah.
a thick. Like I've got.
But the omnibus is like it's a big thing now. Like a dude, I'm friends with Antoine Brown or on Twitter. He is constantly buying. Like I feel sorry for his bookshelves holding all that weight.
Like you said yours is, so if yours is 13 13 issues, they're 28 pages, so your book will roughly be this thick.
Yeah.
It's like that, and it's just like, guys, ASMR. Like
Ah,
it's
nice.
such a, like, that would be sick to, like, a lot of creators can like say, yeah, this is my 13 issue freaking,
Yeah.
like, and you can pass that down to your kids, be like, yo guys, like, I
Yeah.
freaking,
Daddy did that,
yeah,
baby.
exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. Let's see. We got people in the comments saying, Pixel Trader, I'm loving this series. Chad Townsend says, emotional damage. Aljamil, wow, Tyler. Critical reads, yeah, I try to do reviews and realize just how critical I am. No more reviews unless I really like the book. And that's like hard because
Mm.
then it's not necessarily like a review because you're only reviewing the stuff that you like, which is
Yeah.
fine. Like, that's still good. You should still like make content on the stuff that you like, but it's like then everyone knows, oh, he's just going to talk about a book that he likes.
Yeah, see the way I treat it, like when I read a book, like a comic or something, like I can be savage, but I try to like I treat it like the army. They call it an after action review. I do that after everything. If I succeed or fail, 3 ups, 3 downs. What worked, what didn't. That's what we say. 3 up, three
Dude,
down.
Hojo, how come you're not making like your YouTube videos, and you're like, all right, this is the after action review of this comic?
Oh man, kind of want to piss people off. I would never. I wouldn't want to do it with like my friends and stuff like
Oh
that. Because
yeah, maybe not indie comics, but you could do that with like Batman or any other book that you
yeah,
read.
yeah, I could probably do that if I had time. Yeah.
That's the thing,
But
man,
I
having
mean,
time.
Pixel Trader, it'd just be one more thing for him to have to do for me, and he's already pulled 25 different directions.
Pixel Trader.
Yeah, he's a big part of South River Studios.
Oh,
He
nice.
does all the layouts for the cards and stuff like
Oh
that, and
shit, dude.
helps
He's on.
a
Okay, so
lot of shit.
Pixel, he's
Yeah,
here in the chat because he's on the payroll.
yeah,
That's the scope of the podcast I
yeah,
wanted to do. See, there you go.
yeah.
That's awesome. So let's get it. This is my next thing, and kind of a great segue. What are you reading currently? Like, what books are you reading? Like, both indie, mainstream. What are some of the books that are just like tingling your balls?
Oh, I got a few things on the stack. I've been reading the Transformers line. A few issues behind. It's from what I hear, I need to hurry up. I read that Batman First Night. It's like this. It's gigantic. It's
First
like
night.
a yeah. It's like a big art. They only did 3 issues or whatever, but it's like this. It's gorgeous, like artist-size edition or whatever. But it's set in like the 40s. It's not as great. It didn't end as great as I thought it would, but the first issue was great. It's very pretty to look at.
Oh, I saw the art on this book. I was like,
Yeah,
this looks great,
yeah, it's pretty dope.
not. It wasn't a. It wasn't a good read.
I mean, it just I didn't like. how it ended. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but
Okay.
the first issue was very great. Let's see. I still have some of the Spawn that Brett Booth did, like when he got announced, which is I feel like a year ago. Just forever, man. Oh, I did read the. I popped by. I went to Baltimore Comic Con a couple weeks ago,
Okay.
and I popped by the Mad Cave table. So they're doing the Dick Tracy, and they
Was
did
that
like
good?
yeah, the first issues. I mean, it's solid. It's pretty
Okay, but
solid.
then the second issue.
I haven't read it yet. See, that's I got so much stuff in these separate stacks.
Mm-hmm.
But the Flash Gordon they did, I picked up at Free Comic Book Day last year. Like their little free, it was great. I mean, the art was great, and I picked up a couple issues of that and got to sign it. There was, I, I'm a fan of that. Like I didn't think I would like it because it's a pass in the. I love Flash Gordon. I met the Flash Gordon. I met Sam Jones. And I'm a New York Jets fan, so he signed his Flash Gordon New York Jets card for me, and I gave him one of my comics, and
Oh,
so
nice.
and we gave like a little fist bump. It was good. It's cool.
Well, that's awesome. I have to check out that Batman First Night then.
Yeah.
I love Batman. Like that's like probably
Oh,
the only
oh yeah. Of
DC
course,
book.
that Dracula I told you about. I can't stop.
Oh yeah.
I need to, they're not paying me to talk about it, so I just need to stop talking about it.
You're like, hey, like I need to
Yeah,
start
I've been popping up way too much. Everybody I talk to, them, like, have you read it? They're like, no. Yeah.
Let's see. The Pixel Trailers like I get paid. Sketchestar Rex says the new Transformers series is great. Yeah, man, that Daniel Warren Johnson. I think he's just writing it now. He's not on the art anymore. But
Yeah,
that
yeah. I'm still on his art. Like that's how many issues behind I'm in.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
But his replacement artist is like it's like a Daniel Warren Johnson variant.
yeah.
It's pretty good. Dragon Grit is a great indie comic book series so far. Oh, nice. There we go. I've been trying to get into more like indie comics on global comics. I've been traveling a lot, so I'm like
Right.
I'm on my phone a lot. So I just got done reading like one called like The Gray Knight, which was pretty fun. Right now, the 3 books that I'm like studying are My Name is Jeffrey. It's a Penguin short comic by an indie creator, Mrs. H.
Mm-hmm.
The Common America Gaiden, and then Happy Conoco's Killer Life. It's like I'm studying them because like they're web comics, so they're only like each chapter is only 4 pages long.
Okay.
So I'm like I work in like The Girl with the Megafist is like it took us 800 pages to finish our first arc. So
wow.
I work in like I tell like long
form.
yeah, so I've been like just rereading this constantly like okay, how do I just condense whatever this idea is in 4 pages?
Right.
And like there's like so many volumes. I think there's like 10 volumes of this because it's like that's a manageable schedule for a creator to put out 4 pages. It's like as an artist, like if I was told, oh yeah, only 4 pages a week, you're like,
gotcha, bro.
yeah, and they're all like, they're so like, and they're so simple. There's like not even backgrounds on most of them, so I'm like, how can I? And then with the Common America Gaiden, I mean, Tim was the one like he's like, oh, we used this to help us do the Gaiden, the Common America version, and theirs are only 2 pages, and it's typically like 4 panels and like maybe like 2 more panels on the second page or a splash page. So I'm like, wow, like how do you convey a long form story in like such bite sized?
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm trying to learn, because yeah, like some of these series that I'm finishing up Super Plumber Sisters next year. And like that was 4 chapters, but I have like and like I had to really fight myself to keep it like short,
right?
Like 4 issues, and I'm like I have this other like My Sexy Witch Academia. I'm like, oh, like that's 12, and I've been trying to figure out how to make it shorter, but I'm like, no, 12 is as long as that's that's how long it's gonna take. But like, man, like you're doing 13 issues is like being married to like a series that long is sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, see, it's kind of, it's almost done. Like, I mean, it's already plotted out. Like, I know how it ends. Like,
Yeah, but
I'm basically on the
then
six.
you've
I
got
know,
to
yeah.
like how many issues like are you putting out an issue a year?
I'm trying to, I'm trying to whittle it down to like 8 months between launches, and that way, by the time everyone has filtered this, like maybe it took you a month or two to read it, the next campaign launches, and you're like, oh, well, I don't have to wait anymore. I'm just going to get it. And I know, it's like by now I'm a proven commodity, you
Yeah.
know, and that's a big thing too, because like I circle back what I said about undelivered campaigns. Like I've heard so many horror stories about like people taking the money and running off and like not being around, and like books that are 8 years late, and people are like, I know I'm never getting that book, and
Uh-huh.
no updates and stuff like that. It's another black eye, but like it's part of the gig. You
I'll,
just got to be like, that ain't me. That ain't me.
I'll say this as someone who like when I made the most money ever with crowdfunding was when I was unemployed,
Mm-hmm.
and like I could feel the itch to like take it. Like you just
Right,
did
right.
20K, take it, and you can this will take care of your family for the rest of the
Yeah.
year, and then do another one, and I made 17K. It's like, now keep that one and just keep hoarding, and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point it's like you can't come back unless you've delivered.
Right.
Or somehow are able to really like pull the wool over people's eyes and keep really promising them nothing.
I don't know if that could work anymore.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Like I'm running late on my Girl with the Megafist Volume 4. Like it's not a year late, but it's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It's 9 months late. And I'm finally sending out the digitals on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a sucky feeling. So I'm part of a book right now called Handyman. It's old. It's like 7 years old. And the only part I was hired to do was write the story.
Right.
And then my friend Brad was gonna draw it, and then he was the one that came up with the idea. He would run the Indiegogo, and he never delivered the book. But like my name is on that.
Mm-hmm. We gotta watch that.
And so like some people will be like, "Oh, Tyler, so they're like, Tyler, where's the handyman?" I'm like, that's not me.
Yeah.
Caden Sketch says, anyone else having a hard time hearing Tyler? Oh shit, you guys having a hard time hearing me? Let me do it.
I got you great, brother.
You guys having a hard time hearing me? Maybe maybe I was just talking on the side too long.
And I guess I'm kind of part of a late book myself, like as an anthology. Like I did a 6-page story. Like it was kind of a challenge to do a complete story in 6 pages, right? And so that was a deal. It took a public domain character, but there was another creator that was attached to it and kept not delivering, and then another person's like, well, I got another story, like, and then I turned my stuff in August of 2023. Good to go. But if people are like, well, that's a late book. Like that's got nothing to do with me. That's when you're part of something like that. There are other things that are outside of your control. And also printing costs and paper shortages, I guess, were a thing.
Yeah, like
back in the day.
Let me know, guys, by the way, if you can hear me better now. I turned my mic up. But yeah, like those those paper shortages sucked. The printing costs got too much. Yeah, Pixel Trader is saying Brad's book, I hosted the web edition as he was working on it. Sadly, his heart kind of wasn't in it as much due to the violence after his life changed. Yeah, Brad did go through some hard times afterwards. The painful thing, I'll say this, guys, as everyone says, right. It sounds great. The painful thing though was like, because Brad at the time was living like really close to me, like down the street, is I saw the pages. The book had 6 more pages left to be done. And I was just like, Brad, like
Come on, man.
6 more pages. Like, I wouldn't like have my, and like, but I don't know if like if he still had the money or not. I don't know what he did with it. And then he moved, he got married, had a kid, they moved, and you know, they're all happy and stuff. But yeah, I saw the pages. Like that was what was hard for me, is I saw the book. There was only 6 pages left. And I'm like, damn it, like if we had just finished it, because it was only, I think there was only like 70 backers, so it's like like we could have finished it, you know, gotten it printed. Obviously you might be down a couple hundred, like probably $1,000 when it all is said and done with only 70 books. But yeah, so that sucks, because on the page it literally says like handyman, Ashworth, carpenter, and like our names are so big. I'm like,
well, maybe one day, man.
Maybe. Critical reads, I'm waiting on a cover I paid $450 for almost a year, and he is well-known cover artist, trying to figure out how to deal with it correctly. That's hard. Yeah, that's a hard one. So let's see. All right, I got 2 more questions. I don't know if I want to ask you this one. So maybe I won't. What are your thoughts? So like as a creator with like yeah, you know, you have, okay, here I can word this. How into making indie comics are you? Like what's your bench level? Because I think there's like so many varying degrees where we like, there's people who like they make indie comics, then there's people who are like Pat Shand, who he's like half mainstream, half indie, but he's putting out like 3 Kickstarters a month. It's like super indie.
God, that ain't me. You can go ahead cross my name off that list.
So like, how like into it are you? Like, are you trying to like, you know, be the one who's marketing yourself and making all this content all the time and live streams? So, or is it just like, yeah, like I'm here to have fun, make a good story, and like that's all that's really all I care about.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, it is about the story for me. I don't even have a YouTube channel to speak of. I don't live stream on my own channel. I don't know how to do any of this. I can come out and rap with people because I know how to talk to people. Most comic people, they're kind of introverted. They don't know, come up, this is my comic. I can do this. But as far as my bench and like what I do, like I have this other story. I got a lot of, like you said, being dedicated to this IP. There are other IPs that are here, and I don't know if it's smart. Like I don't know who said it. I heard never do your childhood dream IP, the one character you came up when you were a kid. Don't do that first. Learn how to do something else. Learn how to write and do what you're doing, and then go back to that. So that's what I'm doing.
So you're not even doing like the big one. You're just
no. This is just to tell a story. This is,
and you did it and you decided to pick a 13-issue story.
Yeah, because it got too big, man. Once I introduced these pieces, these artifacts,
you lost control of your own story.
I did.
It just got too big.
Yeah, well, I knew how it ended. I just needed to figure out how to get there. I'm like, we're gonna need a lot of rope.
There we go.
You know, this is gonna take a while.
But that's fun because that means you're not like constrained on what you want to do. You're allowing yourself to go, you know, this is happening this way, and we're gonna make it happen. And I think like one of the things that like I struggled with at the beginning when I was making comics was the fact that I felt like I had to follow all of these rules. Like my comic has to be 20 pages, and then I have to once I get to 4 or 5, I then do the trade, and then like that's an arc. And I was like, man, like I just feel so constrained in what I want to do. And like it was obvious, like there was no one like there was no gun to my head to like say like, hey, you've got to do this. These are the rules on how you make a comic. But I wasn't allowing myself, like I wasn't letting the story breathe like you did. I knew the ending, and I was like, oh well, I have this ending. It's gonna take this long, but I've got to, you know, then I have to like, oh, I've got to break it down into this, and I'm like, well, what if I just didn't do it like that and just broke it down the way I wanted it? Where someone was like, yo, Tyler, you have in Grow with the Megafist Volume 2, I have a 90-page fight scene. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because I wanted it.
Because I can.
Because I can. And, you know, in like manga terms, that's like nothing. Because some of these battles in manga, they're like, oh yeah, it's like 12 volumes in and we're still fighting the same guy. But yeah, I think that's awesome. Aljamil says maybe the future of crowdfunding is almost or completely finishing a project, then crowdfunding, using the funds to cover costs, and then the rest goes in the next campaign. But that's hard though, because like that's a huge risk. Like so for
what if you drop your prices in a bad economy and people are like, oh god, I can't right now, and then you're
screwed. Like
yes.
I so all my campaigns lately have been doing over 10K, and I'm very blessed.
Yeah.
And I typically I typically front the money for the book first, and then but for my book The Cthulhu Murders, I fronted the money and I didn't make that money back on Kickstarter for that one last year. I was 2,000 short.
Right.
And so, I mean, but I already had it paid for, and it was almost finished at that point. But if I was relying on the Kickstarter to pay for everything, it just wasn't happening. I actually had to pull funds from another book to cover the costs of the printing and shipping of that book. And I don't think I haven't broken even yet on that. Cause I still have a ton of stock and I'm trying to sell it off. So yeah, that's the risk that you have when you say, hey, like, I'm going to finish the book first. But that works though. Like I could do that, cause I'm a writer. I'm a writer artist.
Yeah.
But that's a huge risk for someone like you as just the writer, the writer.
Well, I have been blessed to have campaigns over 10K on both, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And the second issue outfunded and outbacked the first issue, which is even more insane. So it's hard work out here, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it can't be done, like, but at this point, like, to where I've been able to just put the coal into the fires we're going down the tracks, into the freight train here. There's a point where you almost couldn't stop. If you do stop, you just start losing money. But you just got to have that faith and your abilities and your faith in your backers as well, because like I've gotten so many, like I don't need to like bust out DMs, but people are like, your story's so good, man, this is good, I'm gonna back it when I can, it's just rough right now. I'm like, I get it, which is the reason I could afford to drop it to $10. I know she's mad, but it's marketed, man, because at some point, like 8 out of the last 10 backers I've gotten in this past like week or so have been new people who bought like the catch-up tiers.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that is one of the best things about like as you as you grow, you're naturally just gonna like, the reason why crowdfunders, typically people grow like from their 1, 2, 3, hopefully, is because as you grow, like people are gonna naturally buy more than one book from you as you keep going. So like when like the Growth of Megafist Volume 4 campaign, it did like 10,000 in the first 24 hours, but I actually didn't sell a ton of that book physically. It's just people bought a ton of add-on books because I have all these other book series. So like the average order was like $40 or $50 when it would have been 15. So yeah, I think it's just, you guys stick around. Aljamil says, I'm meaning if you are a few campaigns into your IP, people know you and you kind of have the know-how on the process. Oh yeah, for sure. Like
I know a little bit.
A little bit. Like, so when I did
a little bit.
When I did the Super Plumber Sisters, I hit like 20K and I was like, okay, I can maybe take some of this money and throw into some new series and to like just get them going. And like fingers crossed, one of them being that Cthulhu Murders, which didn't pay off. The other one was Bold Assassin, which it did. But then when I did the second Super Plumber Sisters, it didn't hit 20K. It did 12K. And so if I had thought, oh, it's going to hit 25 or 30, I was way off. And so as I'm doing the third one, I'm like, okay, is this going to be like it had a great spike because I got canceled the day before and I used it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So like, is it going to am I gonna be at an 8K campaign for this one, or is it gonna stay? Or is it just gonna plateau at that 12, where I'm at the third issue and the people who want it are gonna come back, and maybe some new people jump in, or the new people are like, oh, it's three issues in, I don't want to get in. Like, there's so much like. It's so hard to know what like human individuals are going to do and what they're going through.
I know.
You know, like, yeah, this economy sucks. Like, is it, or they be like, or are they going to be like, oh, like I would have gone the 20 cover if I made the 10 instead, or yeah, it's difficult. So yeah, like I've paid for Super Plumber Sisters. I've already paid off the third one and the fourth one. That's the end of the series. So now at this point, everything that I make is profit.
Yeah, it's great.
Which feels good. Which feels good because now I don't have to pay like the use. All right, now I gotta take this funds and give it to the artist. But also at the same time, I'm like, I really hope though that it actually achieves what it does. And really, what's gonna happen is I won't pay that artist anymore to do the series. I'm just gonna use that to make to get the current artist on like My Sexy Witch Academia. Go, all right, now you can make the fourth one. With this, but it's hard. But it's hard, man. Like, I can see how people mismanage funds and like are late on their books, and like I get it. Like,
especially if you're drawing, man, you're like, it's not gonna take me that long, and then before you know, it's like a week goes by. You know, you're still on that panel.
Oh, dude. I don't know. Like, how did you write in full script?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
not at first.
Not at first. So this is what's
weird looking at first. It looks like Charlie from Always Sunny, like his board, him like that. That's like the closest description to my first draft.
Okay, I hope Sketchestar Rex isn't here in the chat anymore. Sketchestar Rex is my editor. So like I kind of Marvel style it with my writing. So like I'll thumbnail the whole book. And then I'll like go in and then I'll do if I'm working with an artist, I'll do panel descriptions and then send it to them. And then when they give me the final line art, I then do the dialogue. But there are some times though, where they'll send me back the final art and I'll go, oh crap. Like,
that's wrong.
Oh, no. Oh. Not wrong. It's, what was I doing? Like, what are these characters saying? Because I didn't do the dialogue.
Oh yeah.
So I'll just be like, oh, what's going on? So then like I'll like sometimes piece it together. And what happened with the girl with the mega fist this last chapter is like I got back. I drew all the oh shit, he's here. I drew all the pages, and then I was like, sweet, it's time to letter it. And I went into my documents, and I hadn't done any dialogue for 4 chapters. Which is the equivalent of like 50 pages. So I was just like, oh my gosh, like, what are these people even fucking saying? Like, what is this even? I'm like having to find like all my story notes. I'm like finding notepads, like what is even going on? And I couldn't find any. So I just like spent like a month trying to write purely based off of the final art that I created.
That's a nightmare, dude.
It was a nightmare. And I've like told myself, I'm never gonna, I don't even know how it happened, where I'm like, wow, I didn't for 50 pages. I drew 50 pages of artwork without knowing what these people are like fucking saying. It worked out though, guys. I think you guys will like, when you guys read The Girl with the Mega Fist Volume 4.
That sounds like a great endorsement.
Guys, I had to make it up as I went. It's an absolute shit show. Now Sketchestar is like, oh my gosh. But Sketchestar, you like those last 4 chapters.
Yeah, but see, I can do layouts too. That's the thing. Like, that's where
do you?
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
you should.
And on the first book, I did a bunch of. Well, I wouldn't say bunch, maybe 3 pages. The villain reveal in the first issue. Like that's my layout.
No, you should do. I think you should do that. I think more artists would like that.
They love it because sometimes they just want to be told what to do.
Yes, like I do that.
Like sometimes in panel descriptions, if I need it, like I'll write "Go nuts." I put a splash page. I said "Go nuts." Werewolf vampire fight. Go nuts. That was it. That was the entire description. Now, for instance, there could be another panel. One panel that could be a half a page. It's not Alan Moore, but it's Alan Moore light.
Oh fuck!
I've had to do that just because there were certain things in that panel
Like
that
you
have to
needed.
carry over
Mm.
8 issues from now.
Oh, okay. So it's like it's to keep everything in continuity, and you're leaving
Yes.
Easter eggs that
Yeah.
the artist
Yeah.
will not have won't have any idea to include unless you
Yeah.
tell them.
Or
Gotcha.
if they're not picking up when I'm putting down when I'm typing it. I was like with this panel where it was going back and forth, and I was like, hold on. I just said standby. Dot dot dot. Went in my job and got a post-it note and just drew it. And I was like, I took a picture of my phone. I was like, that.
Oh, there
Just
we
do
go.
that. And then he had it perfect, even a little better than what I had put on there
Oh, there we
in like
go.
10 minutes. In like 10 minutes. I'm like, thank you. It wasn't that hard. I guess. I guess just some things. It's just these little parts of the creative process that you look back on it like, why the hell didn't he understand when I said standing in the door frame?
I had on this latest issue of My Sexy Witch that we're working on. The artist sent me the pages, and like one of the girls is just naked for like 4 pages straight, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, why? Like, why would she be like? There's other people. Why? There's people in this room. He's like, I thought that's what you wanted. I was like, no, like,
Maybe pull back a little bit.
I like found in the script, and I was just like, I didn't like. She was like naked briefly in one panel in the page before as she was getting undressed,
Mm-hmm.
and then but like I didn't do a good enough job in the script to let him know like scene change,
Fully clothed.
like new day, new everything. So
Yeah. Having that left out, I can see.
exactly.
Man, brother, I just draw what you said.
It's like I get it. Like it's called My Sexy Witch Academia, but we have
not so much sexy. Let's just put a little bit more academia.
Yeah, he does message me, and he'll be like, dude, like there was no sexy in this chapter. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't care. He goes, dude, like you need to add a panel.
You gotta live up. You gotta live up to the name.
Yeah, he's got. It's actually one of the things that I do like kind of regret is like the name. I made that name so it would like be catchy, but like I also like I set the tone immediately.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm trying to tell a serious story, and he's like, no, you can't tell you can't tell that serious of a story.
Yeah.
Like you can, but it can't be that serious. So I'm like, damn it. So he makes me throw in like mean girl type jokes, like you whore, and I'm just like, this isn't. No, I love that. I love that series, but it's struggle with it. My Titty Witch, yeah, there you go. Chad Townsend says I like Marvel Method. I do quick dialogue blurbs in my story beats. I think that I honestly I think it's cool, Hojo, that you can do layouts. I think like that's one of the things that takes me the hardest when I was working on like books like Coins of Judas. I would work so long on the panel layouts for Travis Gibb because I'm like reading his script, like, do I have everything? I'm like, man, if someone just drawn this out for me, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. That's what it's supposed to look like. But that's cool that like you'll do that with like certain pages where you're like, this is it. This is how.
Oh yeah, I try to give. I mean, I don't want to be like too constraining, but then like then again, like this is my book. Like you're not gonna, you don't get the keys to the Ferrari. I'll let you sit in it with me, but you're not. You don't. This is me. But no, it's. I think I don't know if it is rare to have like a writer that does that. Like, I would never call myself an artist, but like, and I do have an eye for art, just not the wallets. But like, and I know, and like I'm like Dirty Harry. I do know my limitations. A man's got to know his limitations. I do.
I think Grant Morrison said that. I think I read something where like Grant Morrison or Jeff Johns, like on their scripts, they're always like 2 pages, and like they always sketch it out on the right hand side.
I've seen a couple other creators do that too.
Yeah, I like it. Let's see, we got Sketchstar Rex. The Marvel way is better. Definitely reread volumes 1, 2, and 3 before 4. It will be worth it. Pixel Trader says rub seat, rich Corinthian leather. Rich Corinthian leather.
He's a funny guy. It makes me laugh.
No, we like Pixel Trader around here. Hojo, before we end the show tonight, let's go over your campaign one more time. I'll actually be backing this. I didn't know you were running
right.
on. I haven't backed anything on Fund My Comic yet. I might have backed the Ariel book. I just like
Who didn't? I did.
it was so it like, but like, not like I like Kickstarter. I don't know if have I backed any of your books on Kickstarter? I have to have.
I don't know. Maybe.
I have like 5 million different accounts, which sucks.
Yeah, it might be under one of those. Yeah.
I'll check it out. I'll have to yeah. Sometimes I'll have to find it, but I'll be backing this. I'll be backing this one. I'm backing this one because you said that was the monster of the week. So now I can add that to my pile of my study pile.
Right on.
To be like, okay, how the crap did he tell a beginning, middle, and end story with but something that I learned from you though now is that you did have the first 2 issues kind of to set up everything, and then you could get into the.
But yeah, another creator pointed this out, and I didn't know this was uncommon. I just felt like this is what worked the best. Like, I've seen so many first issue comics of like a teen book when I was a kid. Not much happens in the first book, like because they're trying to explain like the world and how it works
and the characters interact with each other.
Yeah. Well, the first one, like you're just introduced to one character. You get to meet the team, but like ever so briefly, and you don't get to really find out like, oh god, because it's pretty much like her at the end of the issue 1. You're like, oh my god, all this is happening, all this is real. What this? Then we're done, and then you find out like a twist ending, and then that hooks you back into issue 2, and then that's where we slow things down just a little, give you some lore dump and some nuggets and how things work. Boundaries, what's real. Dragons are not real anymore. Aliens are not real. This, that, and the other, all explained for Nancy through this talking cat who cannot stand these people.
Got the cat right there.
Yes. And issue 3, we get to the point to where, like I said, it's a monster of the week. It's a case. It's her first real like day on the job, not like human resources filling out paperwork.
I like that. So maybe I gotta like, cause like that. I love my favorite genre is crime noir or like those police procedurals. Like I'm right now like binging the new Criminal Minds season. I haven't watched it in like 5 years, that series, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I remember this.
My wife was really into it when we got together.
So, here's my thing as well with those crime procedurals is that women love crime procedurals.
Oh god, they were always
women love murder.
This lady at work, she's always watching like, how she got away with murder, or whatever. I'm like, what? So
they listen.
Okay, and her mom's a cop. I'm like, that's even more weird. Like, you know how to hide bodies. Like, you know how to get her. You've been getting around the law your entire life.
They like women. They love like those true crime podcasts where they're like, all right, who's the person that we're going to talk about that got murdered this week? And they're But that's the thing. I'm like, okay, what if I could figure out how to do like a crime procedural on like Webtoon?
Yeah,
and like because there's women audience there and men and but yeah, I don't know. I just like, but it goes back to the fact that I'm like, I don't know. I don't have the skill set to do a 28-page story, but I will read Mythicals 3 and I'll go, all right, it's time to break this bitch down. Because then with this, and then if I can combine it with this, which is Webtoon style book. Hojo, if I make
condense it down,
Hojo, I'll put out the first arc. If I make $1 million, you then can write the second and third, fourth arc, and we'll split the money.
I'll do that. I'm good at condensing things, and it's weird because I'm about to do the opposite. Like I have a short story that I did like I said, when I first wanted to do this, I wanted to just write and do as much as I could, and there was an opportunity to submit to a anthology book. This is prose, right? It's just like print. Didn't work out. They didn't do it, so I'm stuck with the story. I had already paid to get it edited, and to where she didn't want to like throw me out a window because my prose was very rusty, to say the least. And so I'm gonna try to turn that and to pull that and stretch that and fill in blanks to make that into a graphic novel.
Oh,
Because
damn.
that is a singular story that I built an entire world in like less than 3,500 words.
Oh, there we go. Jeez. You done did it. Pixel Trader's body armor pajamas, little literal twist. Back for the trading cards. Stay for the awesome story. Now, absolutely. So, guys, those of you in the chat, those of you who are watching later, I'm going to put the link one more time in the chat. Go check out the Mythicals. While I put stuff in the chat, give us a one more time, like, quick summary.
So the quick pitch, if I'm leaving right out the door, it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer mixed with X-Files with a little bit of Jim Lee's Wildcats.
Oh, dang.
So there you go.
There you go.
So like badass monsters, and we got hot ladies and real villains, not sympathetic retards.
No sympathetic retards.
You know, like we don't do that here. This is a battle between good and evil, and trust me, it's gonna get crazy.
So you're not on Indiegogo anymore, are you?
No, I'm really debating on whether doing it now after
all the crap. What about let's see, let me go to the Fund My Comics. Yeah, don't ever. How do I see like all the campaigns you've ever done?
I don't know if you can do that. It's more of a question for Pixel Trader and that team. But I know the first book did like 11.4K total with all the platforms.
Nice.
And then the second one did like 14.7. And I think it was like 370 something backers versus 340 something in the first one.
Nice.
But each Kickstarter has grown. Like the first one was only $500. The second was like close to 2,000. So
nice.
We're already at 800 something now, and it's only been 2 weeks, which is like the lull period now. And I've been getting almost like a backer a day here lately. It's been, I guess people are starting to come into the little spooky season and look for horror books, which is great.
Nice.
Have a horror book during October. That's a free marketing tip from me to you.
Dude, I'm so pissed I haven't planned out my releases to have like My Sexy Witch during October.
Yeah.
Like that's such a.
But now they have the late pledge option. I'm kind of curious as to what that's going to be like.
I did it for the first time on my latest campaign. They pay you every week, which is like if you make money that week, they pay you.
Yeah, well, that's what Fund My Comic does like the whole time.
Oh, they're just constantly sending you.
Yeah, as long as you got to set it up to where it's like the keep it all, and then once you fund, every Tuesday after that, like I just got today's Monday, right? Yeah, I got it. Hold on a second. Boom. There's a stripe right there.
Nice.
I got a stripe notification. I got a payment incoming tomorrow.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I kind of like that because like
I think they stole it from Fund My Comic. And it was probably already in the works.
I think it's smart. I like because some people are like, oh, we missed out, and they can just go buy it. And
yeah, that's the one gripe I always had with Kickstarter. Like everybody, I was been telling them about this Kelly Jones Dracula book, and they're like, "Where can I get it?" It was like, "Oh, you can't. It was on Kickstarter, but you can't anymore. It's coming to the shop soon. See you later."
There's a part of me that wonders though if I should like would it be a good idea to like have like an eternal Kickstarter campaign that just has like all my books that just can forever take on late pledges. So if you're like, oh, where can I get your books? I'll just go to this Kickstarter campaign.
Like a storefront mode?
But it's like a storefront mode. But then like you'd have to really be checking like the backers. Like you'd really have to like see a message saying you're getting paid and go, okay, which campaign is this from? Because
yeah. Well, I guess you would get like an alert. Like you every time I would get a backer on Fund My Comic, like if somebody to back right now, I'll get an email that says you had a direct funds contribution for X amount. So at the end of the week, that's what I would do. Like after I'd pretty much like, I'm done with fulfillment. Like, shoot, I'll get them all out the door inside like a week and a half. And then every Friday after that, I'd look at how many backers I got. And then I would go down to the basement and pop, knock those orders out once a week. South River Studios in your mailbox.
There you go. Well, Hojo, thank you so much for coming on the show. We had a silly goose time.
Yeah, it was fun.
So you guys look home. We had a silly goose time.
No.
And then guys, I'll do my own quick shill. Super Plumber Sisters number 1, 2, and 3 is going to go live October 15th. It was supposed to be 16th, but I didn't realize I was going out of town that day for work. So I don't want to be launching a campaign while I'm at the airport. It's not the most conducive.
Not optimal.
It's not optimal. I did it on my last campaign, and I mean, it was kind of nice to like get off the plane like I funded, but like I feel like there needs to be like that energy on the first day of like you mess, and I didn't capitalize.
And that refreshing every 5 seconds after the launch.
Exactly. I will say it was nice.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I will say it was nice to like get on the plane and then like I couldn't look at my phone for 6 hours. And then like get off the plane and like the moment that like they're like you can turn your self service on.
Leave me alone.
Exactly.
If you want to drink, no. Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed that. But let's see, Pixel Trader picked up 3 or 4 backers today. Nice. Critical Reads fun show night, y'all. Critical Reads got to get ready for this Cat 5 hurricane about to hit me. Yeah, everyone dude. Like
stay safe, brother.
Stay safe. Reach out to friends and family if you need, and yeah, seriously, like stay safe. And man, it's kind of sad you can't trust the government these days, like to protect your own people.
Ever?
You never could, but man, is it more like evident?
It's really in your face now.
Like,
I mean, literally. I mean, but seriously, in all seriousness, if they say leave, don't
leave. Yeah,
there's only one. Houses can be replaced. Monetary possessions can be bought again. But there's only one you.
Yeah, there we go. There's the advice, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to smash that like button. Oh, where's my outro music? See, you have to have all these fucking tabs open to do all of this. To do all of this stuff. It's annoying. So guys, remember to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on a different day. Peace.